G'day you mob, Pete here, and this is another episode of Aussie English, the number one place for anyone and everyone wanting to learn Australian English. So today I have a Goss episode for you where I sit down with my old man, my father, Ian Smisson, and we talk about the week's news, whether locally down under here in Australia or non-locally overseas in other parts of the world. Okay, and we sometimes also talk about whatever comes to mind, right? If we can think of something interesting to share with you guys related to us or Australia, we also talk about that in the Goss. So these episodes are specifically designed to try and give you content about many different topics where we're obviously speaking in English and there are multiple people having a natural and spontaneous conversation in English. So it is particularly good to improve your listening skills. In order to complement that though, I really recommend that you join the podcast membership or the academy membership at aussieenglish.com.au, where you will get access to the full transcripts of these episodes, the PDFs, the downloads, and you can also use the online PDF reader to read and listen at the same time. Okay, so if you really want to improve your listening skills fast, get the transcript, listen and read at the same time, keep practicing, and that is the quickest way to level up your English. Anyway, I've been rabbiting on a bit. I've been talking a bit. Let's just get into this episode, guys. Smack the bird, and let's get into it. All right. Anyway, everyday norms in Australia.
Everyday norms.
The hard part about something like this is that you don't know their norms because they're norms.
I know. All right, I'll give you, as somebody who has travelled a lot in North America, particularly in Canada, everyday norms in Australia, we think we have seasons, but we don't. I'm dressed for the cold at the moment. I have a pair of jeans, a shirt, and a long sleeve shirt on.
And someone in Canada would be like,
no, you're not dressed for the cold. Like,
this is summer
I know,
attire.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I was walking, or the day before, I was walking around in shorts and a T-shirt. On Tuesday, when we took the kids to the swimming pool, walking around in shirts and it's the middle of winter. So we don't have seasons. The norms in Australia are we don't have the seasons that people from Europe and North America are used to.
What is the main reason for that? Like, why don't we get as cold a winters here when we are far...
do you want to know? Geographically?
Yeah,
There's two things. One is that we are nowhere near as far south as most of the population is north.
Yeah, okay.
So Canada is above the 49th parallel.
Yeah, and we're on the
Hobart,
37,
which is in the south of Tasmania, the south of Australia, is in the 41st parallel.
Yeah, okay.
So, and most of Europe is above the 45th parallel.
So you'd have to go like another 500 kilometres south.
And the other thing is we have the Southern Ocean.
Yeah.
So the Southern Ocean, which is effectively navigates. It goes completely around Antarctica. And it isolates the cold.
Yeah, okay.
From, we've got, in order for cold air to come from Antarctica to Australia, it's got to cross 1,500 to 2,000 kilometres of ocean.
And it's not sort of washing up along the side of another continent or something.
And the ocean is going to warm it up.
Yeah.
By the time it gets here, it's warm. So we talk about, the cold Antarctic winds. We don't get Antarctic winds here. We get a cold southwesterly wind that all the air temperature has dropped to zero. But the wind is coming in, it's 10 degrees. So, because it's coming off an ocean that's 15 degrees, 14 degrees.
So I guess the tolerances are a lot, like the margins are crushed.
Yeah.
It always blows my mind when you see those places in like Canada where it gets to like negative 30 and positive 30, from summer to winter, and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah, spent a lot of time in southern Ontario. And gets down, the coldest temperature I've had there is minus 30, which for Canada isn't particularly cold. But it's not unusual to have 35-degree days in summer.
Yeah, I remember when we were there, I think it was summer, right, where we were going to the beach, and I thought, ripper, it's going to be nice and warm, and the waters was like 5 degrees.
Yeah, you're in British Columbia.
I was like, fuck this.
Yeah.
And the girls were in the water in just bathers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you need a fucking wetsuit. I'm not getting in that shit. What am I going to do? Submerge myself for 2 minutes and then get out with hypothermia?
And the water's 8 degrees.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, you guys are nut jobs. And they're like, isn't it lovely? Oh, man, that was terrible. Far out.
Yes.
But yeah, it is interesting, I guess. Do you wish we had colder places in Australia with more snow and that kind of climate, or you're like, fuck that?
I don't like the cold.
Does anyone?
I don't know.
My wife.
But she's weird because
She
she
says
comes from
she
the
does,
tropics.
but we don't live somewhere currently.
No,
where
she doesn't. She doesn't understand.
She doesn't know the cold.
Has she actually been to somewhere that's minus 20 degrees?
Well, she went to we went to Perisher and she got like hypothermia.
And it's 0.
It was a weird story. We went there because I wanted to show her the snow. This is when we were living in Canberra, and we went there. I think we drove. It would have been like 3 or 4 hours there and back, or whatever it was. And we got out, and it would have been sort of the afternoon. We're playing around. We didn't have proper snow clothing, but it wasn't like -20 or something. It was probably 0 degrees or, a bit above. And we played around and we're mucking around in the snow and like building a snowman. And she was like, "Well, snow, never seen it there." And then all of a sudden she's like, "My hands really hurt. My body hurts. Can we go inside somewhere warm?"
It's got too cold.
And for like an hour, she was there just like, "This is the
Shivering.
most pain I have ever experienced." And was like, I had to say, I was like, "Do we call an ambulance? Kelly, are you okay?" And she's like, just wait. And then eventually she warmed up again and I was like, good grief. She must have been right on the cusp of her internal body temperature must have been dropping down and everything was saying, get out. But so that was interesting.
Yeah, so your mother always used to be so, because I used to go to Southern Ontario in January, February every year, because the company I worked for had the annual whole company meeting at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And your mother was always saying, because she used to come with me most of the time we went.
Free holiday, woo!
And never did in winter. And she was always going, "Oh, I'd love to come." I said, "No, you wouldn't. You'd hate it.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Inside the whole
you'd
time.
hate it. It's horrible."
Well, the thing that would make it suck the most for me would be the lack of light. I think it would be the amount of darkness.
Yeah. Well, but in Southern Ontario, it's not too bad. But
but those kinds of areas in the northern, northern or southern hemisphere, although there's not many in the southern hemisphere.
No, you got
to
go to Antarctica to get
yeah, exactly. Where during winter,
Chile.
Like I think I have friends in Estonia, and they'll send me, "Hey Pete, look outside," and I'm like, "Oh shit, is it midnight?" And he'll be like, 3 p.m.
Yeah.
I'll be like, "God damn, dude."
Yeah, exactly.
And he's like, "Yep, I haven't." What would he say? He'd be like, "I have work during the day and I haven't seen the sun outside for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months." He'll just be like, "I wake up in the dark, I go to work, I leave and it's dark."
You remember the teacher from your primary school who went to Fairbanks, Alaska on an exchange?
Mr. Cunningham.
Yeah. And he sent a postcard back. We got it middle of February, but he sent a postcard back. Like, he went on Christmas Eve. Mm-hmm. So he arrived there on Christmas Eve and we got a postcard back from him in the middle of February that said, "The sun came up today." He hadn't seen the sun for 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Because he's above the Arctic Circle.
Wasn't he saying too something about golfing?
Oh, yeah, and he said...
it's free after midnight?
Yeah, and in summer, said because it doesn't get dark.
Yeah.
He said, it's summer when the signs on the golf course change to, green fees, half price after midnight.
Part of me would think that would be fun. But then I wonder if you had a summer where it was like always light to some degree, would it drive you nuts? Because you would need foil on the windows to keep the dark out.
He said people don't sleep.
Yeah, or they have naps.
He said that is not a euphemism.
Yeah.
He said they actually don't. They have a couple of little naps during the day.
Yeah.
Because they're up for 20 hours a day.
It would be so interesting to see how it affects your circadian rhythm. Because I remember,
there isn't one. Yeah.
Well, again, watching a lot of these archaeological documentaries on people in the past, apparently the whole, 9 to 5 workday and then sleeping from 9 until 7 a.m. is a very modern setup. And that back in the day, you would work from light to dark.
You work 12 hours, then you sleep.
But then you would get up. You'd get up multiple times during the night. And so there were a whole bunch of these things I was watching where they would be like, you have your first sleep, and that'll be 4 hours or so. And then you get up and you do a bunch of chores around the house, some cleaning.
In the dark.
Stuff. Yeah, well, you would have a candle in the dark. I don't know. And then you go back to sleep. Well, you might, I don't know. There were a whole bunch of these docos that were talking about how the sleep cycle wasn't one big chunk. It would be broken up into two, and there would be a period.
You get to my age and it isn't either.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, you get to
once or twice a night. You're up.
It's me. It's more. I go to sleep at night, and it tends to be shorter than it used to be the entire time. And then during the day, I'm fucking wrecked, so I have a nap.
Yeah. Hey, grandpa naps are good things.
Nana naps. Nana naps.
Yeah.
So anyway, some of the ones that were listed.
So what have they got?
walking bare feet at home, and
Oh yeah, well that's the we don't have winter. We just
funny. Shoeless indoors. It's like that's not fucking weird.
no. That's North American and European.
Shoeless outside, I would have thought would be one of those strange norms.
They have mud rooms in Canada, in particular. I haven't spent much time in. Well, I've only been to the UK and Europe, and only
rooms?
in summer.
Is that where you've got a room between?
A room between, like the rear
like
entrance,
a porch type thing, but it's a room.
It's a room, and you take off your jacket, and you take off your boots, and you take off your scarf,
so
and you
much
take off
water
it
that
because there's
ends up in that
snow
room.
and
Yeah,
mud
yeah.
and everything, and then
gross.
and people don't, we do it because we're just sort of used to it. If you take off your shoes at the front door, that's rare in Australia. Most Australian houses don't do that.
What? Just leave their
They just
shoes
walk
on?
in the shoes.
Yeah.
Clean your shoes at the doormat at the front door, but you just walk in.
The Asians, the Japanese will be listening to this like, you disgusting
I know.
pigs.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just dragging in everything from outside
I
and just walking it through the house.
But that's typical in Australia. Whereas certainly where there is the cold weather, winter, you wouldn't even think about doing that.
Yeah. Is that you or me? Dad's famous. He's getting a call.
I am. It's your mother. I'll ignore
you know what it's
her.
going to be? It's going to be known. Oh, no, it is? It is?
It is. It's your mother. I'll ignore her.
She could have made a sudden appearance in the
She could have. Could have put her on speaker. And,
I think the slang words and the calling everyone with E and O at the end of like Steve-O and
Robbie,
Shazza and Brizzy as the place, Brisbane becoming Brizzy. Talking to strangers, whether it's at a cafe line or a bus stop, friendly banter as usual. This is one of those funny things.
G'day, mate.
I chat to students all the time when I'm doing these private
Americans
lessons.
do it too. But
What? Small talk?
yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, for me, especially when talking to Northern Europeans, and how in Australia it would be considered rude if you were, well, not rude, but like awkward if you didn't make small talk and you're in a situation like that.
The bus stop talk is the classic. You've got a person who's sitting down at the bus stop. There's a small little enclosure. Person sitting down, waiting for the bus to come, and you turn up.
Yeah.
If you just sat down there and said nothing,
The person's like, it's a creep.
Oh, creeper,
Fuck,
what's going on? Was you walking out, g'day, how's it going?
The news.
Yeah, exactly.
I know, and that was funny because you talk to my friends from places like Finland and Estonia, and they're like, dude, you do not talk to people outside the house. If you say anything, they're going to be like, this psychopath. He's got schizophrenia or something. What does he want? It's funny, there's this Estonian comedian in the US, and he has this joke about like homeless people in America, and like, he'll be like, I had this house and I came outside and there's this guy like, and he's like, oh, everyone would just be like, that's Mike. That's Mike. And he's like, someone shoot Mike. like somebody shoot him. And he's like, we have homeless in Estonia, but every year it's a new batch because the winter kills them. Yeah. And he's like, you don't have to deal with this thing. It's just really funny. But yeah, it is.
I like that. Every year there's a new batch.
Yeah. It's so funny.
Well, I don't like it, but
you would feel awkward not making small talk. Even if it was just the bare minimum of like, g'day, how's it going? Yeah. Just acknowledging someone's presence there. You would. My assumption would be, fucking weirdo. Like, he's a weirdo.
There's also my experience, which is not necessarily universal, is that's locality dependent as well.
Yes.
Very common in Melbourne.
What?
Melbourne's the friendliest city in Australia, I reckon. You go to Adelaide and you do that, and people are like, fucking weirdo. Go to Sydney and they just get out of my way. Yeah. And it's, I don't know what it is. It's
and then the smaller town you go to, the more likely they are to chat with
you go to a small town, you end up saying, okay. You start looking at the wrist that you used to have a watch on it.
When we were on Lord Howe Island and the number of people that would just stop you to chat, and you'd be like, fuck, man, I've got to go somewhere.
Yeah,
I don't want to talk.
I'm going to go and lie on the beach.
Like, can you just leave me alone? I've taken like 5 steps outside the house and I'm already having a chat with the gardener. God damn it.
Yeah, but the test, I think, for that is, which is much less common these days because everything is digital, is if you go and stand on a street corner in the CBD, centre of Melbourne, and open up a street map.
Yeah, I think you've mentioned this before.
The first person to walk past you will say, You all right? You need a hand? Mm-hmm. You know where are you trying to get
Australian to walk
yeah,
past
all right,
you.
yeah, all right. But, after 20,000 Asian students who don't speak English have walked past,
Who aren't interested.
The
They're
first person from Melbourne,
this is your problem.
We'll just go. Well, I got the same problem. I don't know where I'm going. And they'll just get, you're right.
You know what I would be
Where are you
thinking?
going?
I'd be like, how did this person get a fucking map?
Yeah.
Don't they have GPS?
but that's what I mean. Now it's different. Whereas in Sydney, if you do that in Sydney, it'd be, get out of my way. You know, I'm walking through here. You're in the way.
I haven't spent enough time in Sydney to really
in the
know.
central business district. Sydney's just different. It's just
it's gross.
busier.
Disgusting.
No, it's a lovely place. It's very pretty, but it's just busier.
You just as long as you're outside of it looking in, live there, right? No. Barbecue culture.
It's Americans the same.
Is it what with having loads of barbecues, like campsite barbecues,
More so.
sizzles?
Yeah, barbecues are an art form in America.
Yes,
but although they treat them differently.
Heart disease.
See,
right?
Barbecue in America is not throw sausages on a grill.
No.
It's barbecue is a very specific thing where you are slow cooking meat and you're putting your own blended dry rub and sauce. And
ours is filth compared to what other places do. Pretty much everywhere. You hear about like Argentinian barbecue, Brazilian barbecue, you hear about the Middle Eastern stuff and you're like, this just shits on Australian. Chuck some snags.
Whereas
on
ours
barbie.
is, throw a few sausages and lamb chops on the barbecue.
Yeah.
And
it'll keep you alive. Can you eat it? Yeah, but it tastes like shit.
It's the amount of beer you can consume in the production of it that's the important thing.
We're getting silly after 2 beers.
We are.
Driving etiquette, making eye contact after a courtesy wave.
Oh, you absolutely. I have this thing about I wave at everybody anyway, just to make them feel like,
while you're driving around. G'day, cunts.
Sorry, I'm getting over a cold. You're making me laugh.
Dad just has the window down with his arms, constantly wave.
A little Chinese cat doing the wave.
The golden cat or the queen
cat.
wave.
Yeah. No, but it's that, the one that irritates me is that because there are a lot of, around where we are, there's a lot of narrow streets.
Yes.
And so if there's cars parked on both sides, you can only get one car through at a time. So if you stop and let somebody through, the natural thing to do is to just, even just stick a finger up, wave, acknowledge, thanking you. And when they don't...
it's my wife always tells we're driving around and we have the exact same thing. So there's two-way streets, but cars park on the side. So often only one can get by at a time. And the first person to get there usually comes through and the next person will wait. And the number of times Kel will be like, why are you so angry? Because I'll be like, I'll pull over and I'm like, okay, wait for them to come through, give them a wave, they give me nothing, and I'll be like, you fucking cunt. You fucking cunt. You fucking dog. How did you not give me the minimum? Just give me a finger.
Two fingers, so just a little wave. Your thumb doesn't need to leave the steering wheel.
I know. And it's so funny how slighted you feel.
I know.
It's like you've spat in my mouth. It's like you just feel dirty.
Horrible.
You're like, you bastard. But it's such a trivial thing. But it's like, I think Kel would be like, this is not a thing in Brazil.
No.
You would just drive past and be like, okay.
Yeah.
Whereas
it's
for
very
us,
Australian.
It's personal.
You take it personally. The other thing too is because I drive a sort of rare imported vehicle, which sounds terribly exotic, but it's nearly 20 years old. So
what is it? It's a Toyota, right?
No, it's a Mitsubishi Delica. It's a van. That I've converted into a camper.
Yeah.
Every Delica driver waves when you drive past, and every now and then you wave, and you don't get the wave back, and you go, "They can't have seen me. What's going on?"
You start following them.
Follow around, go, hey, and waving at them. Go.
It's like Prius drivers, right? Oh yeah. Can we smell each other's farts?
Like vegans.
All right, this is going to be a members only episode. Driving etiquette, making eye contact. Yeah, the courtesy wave. So we did that. What else? Quick weather talk. Yeah, chat about the weather. It's a good icebreaker. Icebreaker.
How you going? All right. Crappy day. The weather's good out there. It is the icebreaker, and it's the icebreaker even with people you know.
But imagine
it's
not doing.
How you going?
Yeah.
The answer is always okay. You never actually tell them how you're going.
But imagine if you were really specific.
Okay, crappy day. Sorry about the rain.
Yeah, it's okay. Prostate's playing up.
Yeah.
Like, you would just be like, dude.
What? How you going is not an inquiry after your health. It is a different spelling of the word hello.
I know, but it is funny. Like, just even in terms of like small talk, if you were to bring up the wrong thing, people would just be like, "Did you just have a stroke?
Yeah.
What the fuck was that? Like, what? Your cat died, or I just, I don't know. My arthritis is playing up." You'd be like, "Dude, I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Don't tell me that."
That's what I said. It is not an invitation to discuss your health. It is just another word for hello. But yeah, the weather is one that everybody talks about the weather. And
but that's also because at least here it changes so often that it is a problem.
It does.
One way or the other.
And a friend who went to university in San Diego, and the first time I went to San Diego to a conference, I asked him, I said, "What's the weather going to be like?" And he said, "Just look it up." I said, "What do you mean?"
What?
And he said, "No, if you look it up today, it'll be like that for the next 3 months."
And you're like,
"It
shit.
never changes.
That's Cairns. That's Cairns.
It's 23 degrees and it won't rain over their summer. And in winter, it's 22 degrees and it'll sort of rain." And
whereas here, I know it used to drive me nuts when living in Melbourne and having to pack, like, if you're in shorts, pack pants. If you're wearing a jacket, make sure you've got a t-shirt or, make sure you have some sort of thing that if it is hot right now, it's probably going to be cold later. If it's cold now, it'll probably be hot later.
And if it's not raining, still take an umbrella because it's likely to rain.
Exactly. That would always drive me nuts.
Another friend who grew up in southern California, and when he came to Australia, he and his wife, he said, "You spend 5 minutes of a half-hour news on the weather." We don't even talk about the weather. You've got to go to a weather channel to get the weather in.
Wow, yeah.
So...
Yeah, I don't know. Any other norms that you can think of?
Norms? No, don't know.
I think it's probably also the informality with people.
Oh, yeah.
That you... And that's what I really enjoy, that you can make... It's not with everyone, and it's not with most people, but there's definitely... Sometimes you just get it and you click, and you're just like, "Oh, you're my person." Like, we're the same type of person.
But we are particularly informal. Even,
Yes.
Most of our prime ministers in my lifetime, even the ones that I don't like politically, some to the point of hatred is a strong word, but close, they'd still be the guy that, you're walking down the street, they'd be walking down, "G'day, mate, how you going?"
Well, and I say this to my students quite often where I'm like, it was funny, I've got a Vietnamese Buddhist monk. So hello, Sister Anne, if you're listening to this. She's amazing. She got to meet Prime Minister Albanese, went to his lodge and had to talk to him with the Vietnamese community. And she was like, I said to her, I was like, "It's funny, isn't it, how we have prime ministers who will probably say, 'Don't call me Prime Minister, call me Albo, use my first name.'" Yeah. And she was like, "Yeah, you told me to call him Albo."
Albo. That's what everybody calls him.
I told you, yeah. Like, we have this, we don't like being put above other people.
Yeah.
Even if you are, generally, if you're upper class or whatever, or rich or famous or whatever, you're going to just say, "Just use my first name. It's my first name."
Yeah.
And so you will have, even the Prime Minister of the country will say, "Just call me Scott,
by my nickname.
call me Jeff, call me whatever you want, but just don't call me Prime Minister." Like, good grief.
Yeah.
I would like to think, the first Prime Minister that we ever get who says, "No, call me Prime Minister," would never live it down.
No.
Would never live it down. He would be getting called that for the rest of his life.
Oh, really?
Is she?
Okay.
Sweet.
Say hello, Noah.
Hey, we're doing a podcast. What are you up to?
I could hear you, and I'm waiting for
Ah,
Mama.
good work. Cool little
Goodbye.
impromptu
Yeah.
visit.
Just a little visit. Joey's coming.
I know, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's
I
probably...
suspect we'll get another interruption.
Yes. I don't know, what else? That's really it, really. I don't know, yeah. Probably the informality, the amount of swearing. And I try with these podcasts, you will hear me swear. You probably heard me say cunt, fuck in this episode. I try and speak as I would with people I'm friendly with naturally. I try
it's a
not
natural
to
conversation,
change it.
you're not talking to your grandmother.
Oh, no. Though it is one of those things I could probably use
she's
those...
deaf, she can't hear you anyway. So.
I think I could use those words in front of her and she wouldn't have even heard them.
That's what I mean, she's deaf anyway.
But not even that.
Oh,
she wouldn't know what they were.
She'd know what they were.
But she would pretend not to know.
Oh, yeah.
That's how...
Bad words. Not allowed to use bad words.
I can't even... If I say g'day cunt or something like that, she'd drop dead, She'd be so shocked. But yes, I try and... I think the amount of swearing... It's really funny. I have one of my students is... Middle Eastern, and he swears a lot with me, but you can tell he works with a lot of Australian tradies.
Yeah.
It's just like using the F-bomb, I was there and I'll be like, God damn, dude, like, I get it, you've been hanging out with these guys.
Yeah,
You know?
as my sister used to call the Forkin' boys.
Exactly. Anyway, that's probably enough for this one. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Bye.
See you next time.